Hey everybody, Brian Good here. It's a quick blog update. A lot of this is very similar to what you've already seen probably on some of the evening newscasts you watch, but I'm going to at least take some time to explain a little bit in a little slower fashion because I don't get a whole lot of time on television. Let me start you off. Here's a look at the radar. You see it's hard to see, but there is rain stretched out. It's all on that secondary front that came through earlier today. Notice, though, we are getting that blue area now working its way in. The blue is pleasant. Green is humid. Yellow is muggy, and then it gets worse from there. So the blue is good, and it is moving in our direction, and look how much of the northern part of the country is enjoying that. So really nice forecast to have for us for this evening. And again, the skies have been clearing out, so clear sky. A little breezy still, that north flow. Keep the things on the gusty side through the period here, through at least midnight. All right, here's Futurecast. We'll get you through that first. Later on tonight, now this is the RPM. It's a little too cool on the city especially, but the outlying areas may be right on, mid-50s. Here in the city, probably lower 60s. Tomorrow, once again, I think it's not warm enough for the city. I think about 82 to 83 here in the city. It is picking up a little bit of a wave that does pass through eastern Kentucky. That's more of an orographic issue here with that northerly flow. Goes up the mountains. You may get a sprinkle in Somerset, but it looks to be outside of wave country, so not concerned about that. But look how many of you are going to stay in the 70s all day long for tomorrow. Here comes the coolest part of the entire period, though. Thursday morning, look at the 40s showing up there. 49 into Carrollton, 46 in Frankfort. And Louisville, again, too cool, probably closer to 58, but still some 40s. Even I got 48 now showing up in Lebanon. So some cool air for the next couple of nights. Tonight is a good taste of it, and then Thursday morning you'll really feel it. Now we begin to warm things up as we get that more south wind. The arrows turn out of south, so we're warming up. Add a little bit more humidity to the mix as well. Nothing drastic, just a smidge on Thursday as we bump back into the low to mid 80s. That then leads us into the holiday weekend. Here's how this is going to play out. A lot of good support on this setup, by the way, coming in on the data and the model trends in the past, say, 12 hours. Cold front moves in, scattering of showers and thunderstorms initially as it does arrive. And this is a poor grid on the model, but it does look to be very scattered activity. And once we get closer, we get a better defined grid on this. What I mean by that is it's picking up idea of rain in the area, but it just puts a big blob. That doesn't tell me a whole lot. You know, we need a better resolution here so I can pick out, are there showers over here? Is there a shower over here? I mean, how scattered is it going to be? And by the looks of things, on the higher res models that are not able to display it here on the blog, on this animation, it looks to be scattered enough to keep the rain chance low. Not zero, but low. The front then sags across southern Kentucky and stalls on Saturday. So at this point, I don't see any changes coming our way for the 11 o'clock news for the Friday and Saturday rain chance. I'm going to keep them low end, and Saturday is mainly to the south. Although after midnight Saturday, things will begin to change. We'll begin to get the front to turn around, become northbound as a warm front. And we'll have to watch this because as it becomes more northbound and the warm air begins to build in and push the front back to the north, there is going to be a somewhat of a decent amount of shear, directional shear along this. Got to watch this for maybe some isolated severe weather that could develop on the front. Looks to be more for Paducah's area to worry about than our area, but we'll watch that. Again, this will be for Sunday through about mid to late afternoon. So Sunday is going to be a transition day. Starts off fairly decent, but as the day wears on, our rain chance will begin to inch upward and upward, upward all the way into Sunday night as we get not only the front moving in, but a low pressure. Now, the Canadian, Euro, GFS, they all have it. They vary a little bit on timing. The general consensus looks to be late Sunday into early 4th of July. Now, that kind of a setup would allow for more of a heavy rain event with some gusty winds. This is a potent little low moving across our area. And they decently agree, too, on the track, taking it right across I-64. So everybody's at fair game here, it looks like. So this may, I'm waiting for the new NAM to finish its cycle here, but I'm leaning toward the idea here of ramping up rain chances for the 11. You'll see that. But the low as it moves in, now if it arrives at a time of day, nocturnally, it's mainly going to be a heavy rain event. And some gusty winds. It's going to be windy, but heavy rain. If this were to slow down a little more, like the Canadians hinting at, and this arrives here more 4th of July afternoon, then we will have to worry about a little more of a potential for some severe weather. Because it does have a decent amount of wind and especially directional shear with that moving through. So Still some questions here on the timing. I'm likely going to ramp up the chance, though, for Sunday into Monday. I won't be able to get too specific, though, until we get just a little bit closer in time to get some of these high-res models to get a better glance at this. And then it looks like as we into next week, we'll still have that front in the area to contend with. As far as rain goes, this is a broad brush idea because, again, the models are going to struggle here this far out. But in general, for the entire holiday weekend, we're looking at about 1, 2, 3 inches of rain, if not pockets a little more. That's the GFS. Here is the Euro. The grid on the Euro, by the way, is poorer on this system than it is than the GFS. But in general, the same idea is there, 1 to about 3 inches of rain. So if you get that too quickly, or if we get it all on Sunday night and Monday, then yes, we could have some flash flooding issues. But we'll monitor that carefully and see how this plays out. But if I had to put a headline here for the holiday weekend, the end of the weekend looks wetter than the beginning part. That's it for now, guys. I'm going to update the numbers here. I'll see you guys in the Weather Garden coming up at 11 o'clock. And I'll have the final version of the 7-day done at that time. All right? See you later. Oh, Kevin's back tomorrow. For one day. One day, but he will be back tomorrow.